if you rise on people's approval, you can fall really badly on their disapproval.
Submission to authority, submission to God. What's submission?
Submission to God, submission to one another.
Oh, it's very important.
Overrated or underrated?
Overtalked.
About.
Then underdone.
On what's new? Yeah.
Like people talk about it all the time. Why should we submit? Why am I expected to submit? What are the effects? Difficulties? What are the effects? Advantages? And then you pray about it if you're Christians, and then continue with your life as if nothing happened. So that's why I'm saying underdone, overtalked about.
So overrated in Christian circles, especially.
Underdone.
Overtalked. Underdone.
No, because I mean the two angles, yeah. There's to authority. Authority. There's bosses. There's the land, law of the land, and then there's now sasa government, and then there's now sasa in a husband and wife situation. Again, husband and wife.
Those are my 2 cents, eh? Maybe 4.
Depending on where
Depending on where I am, how much money you have. Submission is very dope. It's very dope. It's very doable, eh? But sometimes submission is seen as oppression.
Yeah.
You know, it's having a boss who just really makes it so hard to work in the office. It's so hard to submit. You know, you need to, and it's the right thing to do, but it's extra hard to do so. I mean, scripture says, husbands love, wives submit. I mean, if you love, it's easier to submit. Now, it's not that if there's no love, you don't submit. Right? One of the most amazing illustrations I've ever seen in the Bible, someone told me was, you know the story of Abraham and his wife Sarah, and they'd go to Egypt when there was drought or something, and he'd say, hey man, this chick, this is his wife. His wife, eh?
Yeah,
So pretty.
This chick is hot. Right? If I would go and I say she's my wife, they'll kill me and they'll take her.
Wisdom.
Yeah, but if I say, if they agree to say you're my sister, you'll be safe. I mean, what happens to you, man, we'll pray for you. But I'll be safe. Right? As the head of this home and this homestead, I'll be safe. Now, can you imagine, and I know that's like thousands of years ago, would you be okay if your husband told such a thing? But he's the head of the house, he's not a madman. He's not a madman.
He knows why he's saying it. He knows why he's saying it.
You know, and he knows why he's saying it. Eh? And maybe you think sometimes when you go to bed he's a madman, but he's not a madman. And here's the thing. When Sarah went and she played along, said, oh, we'll do it. He said, I know you just call Abraham my Lord and everything. And they go and they become the sisters, quote unquote. Eh? And then Pharaoh takes her in. And then even before Pharaoh could do anything, the Lord is on Pharaoh's case. And here's what it's actually a chick was telling me, and she was illustrating. Nelly, big shout out to you. And she was saying it this way. Scripture says, submit to your husband as well to the Lord. You're submitting to this guy, you're submitting to the Lord. So when you're submitting to your head of department, you're submitting to the CEO by extension. Right? You can't disrespect this person and you say I'm submitting to that other person. It's a chain of command.
Wow, I like that.
I like what you have.
Next topic.
Stop being this guy. If you submit to the Lord, this homie loves you with everything. The Lord will protect you. You know, Abraham got in trouble. This person, this madman, got in trouble.
Yes,
but who was saved? The one who was submissive. Right? There's power in submission. And if someone comes and tells you, if someone who's Mpole comes and tells you, Aki babe, and they're Mpole and they're generally submissive, you'll be shocked at things that you can do. You'll be shocked. But if you're hostile and so doesn't is hostile, it's not a point. But also men love.
I think that's one of the tools and a really good resources for submission that many wives, many people in marriage relationships don't make good use of. Just submit. And every time you guys have perhaps a confrontation and you are on top of the roof about everything, I think there is wisdom for the wife to submission and just say, okay, I hear you. Take the lower place, and I can guarantee you more than half the times, the guy will actually start feeling stupid when you're shouting at a wife who is not shouting back, and come all the way down. Yet, God also says, submit to one another out of reverence for the Lord. So, even as dudes, sometimes I think we ought to submit to our wives, we ought to submit, even as we submit to Christ.
It's to
I like the way you've
be
ended it.
submission for silence. That's why I used to struggle with it. Because I'm a very talkative person.
You just
Yeah.
said my
So
point.
I used to think, so submission means I keep quiet. I want to talk. Until I realize it's not keeping quiet. Because the person you're dating or who you're married to, they want to know what you think about various things. They just don't want you to go and then you're a yes person.
Yeah.
Do this, okay. Do this, yes. So I think even understanding what submission is can help who are struggling to submit to submission.
That was my point. As the talkative part. No,
But
the
can I
talkative
get
person, yeah.
Kidogo? There's a thing, there's a verse in the Bible that says, he who finds a wife. Yeah, it doesn't say he finds a woman to marry.
Where?
It's because something Terri, our host,
Eli.
say wife and what? A girlfriend, like wives submit, but not girlfriends submit. You know, I don't know. I could be mistaken. I feel that some things, if you're not submissive as a girlfriend, I stand to be corrected. And this is just an opinion. If you're not submissive or you don't show elements of submission when you're a girlfriend, I don't think you start submitting when you're a wife.
But it's not like that. If you see
And
yourself,
then,
there
yeah,
are
exactly.
traits that if you see with a guy when you're dating,
Yeah.
if you're not okay with them now, you'll not be okay with them in the future.
Yeah.
Till what I love them more.
Don't-
Nimekuja kujitetea.
Yes.
And they're not submissive one.
No, okay. So my thing is, hi.
Uh-huh.
My thing is, it's not 80, because I feel like, no shout.
Shout.
I feel
Shout.
I feel like it is important. So for me, in my dating, I feel like submission, it's very, very important. So for me, as I date, as I'm looking towards, because I'm not dating for fun, it's my boy I'm trying, or rather my aim is for marriage, right? So if I don't see myself able to submit to your authority, it's a love and respect thing. Have I seen myself submit to this man? Because uko mbele, remember how wife is submit. Will I take this? Am I willing to take this for the rest of my life?
But now you see, Terri, the question then would be,
What is your
when you're saying, I don't see myself submitting to this guy,
what
so
makes you
you want to say there is another guy that you'll be able to submit to. So you're making it about the other person and whether you are able to submit to that other person. As opposed to saying, am I able to submit regardless of the guy? So maybe for the guy you're looking at, is he leading well? So that it's not, am I able to submit to this guy? No, it's, is this guy leading? If he is leading, you're saying, I think he's following after Christ and he is able to lead me, and so I am willing to go on. But for you, regardless of whether it's guy A or B or C, you're able to submit to all of them, and you're saying, God, the moment I become a wife, and even now as I pursue this relationship, help me to submit regardless of who is. That on my part, I am able to do and give as much as I can. But if him is not leading properly, then I can say, I don't think I'll marry this guy because he's not leading. Not because I am unable to submit. You being unable to submit, you get the two sides of that. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And that's a different perspective, but we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Only that, because in dating, everyone, me hakuna msee meet akaniambia they're not Christian outrightly, and tuendele. They've all said they're Christian. So now, until
There's a submission that is joyful, knowing that they are put there by God in authority over you, whether it's your husband, whether it's the country, whether it's your boss. God has purpose that that person will be your boss. That Uhuru at this moment will be the president. That your husband is the head of the home. and that you can joyfully submit to them, because, as you said, essentially, you are submitting to God. Yeah, and you cannot claim to love God. You're not ready to submit.
One more thing, I think, again, I don't think you can be selectively submissive.
Yeah.
You know those guys who say, me I submit to my husband, but not my bosses.
Yeah.
You know, because one day it will flip. You know, you're submissive to your bosses. And so it goes even both ways, even for guys. Because even guys must learn submission. Many of us maybe are not at the top of the company.
Yeah,
You know.
definitely.
But then this guy finds it so hard to respect authority there. Do you think he's going to respect the authority of your parents? Hard. Right? So I think you need to be fully submissive for everyone.
Let me ask.
Good
Let me add one.
Hey.
There are situations that will call you not to submit. But it is when the person to whom you're supposed to submit is essentially asking you or calling you to do something that is ungodly. Or something that God. So just looking at that hierarchy, God is the one we are submitting to ultimately. So if there's anyone who is asking you to submit to them, and in so doing, you are not submitting to the law of God, then that one then you can.
That's true.
That's a good conclusion.
And
Yeah.
The next one.
Yes.
your brother's career.
Which is?
Engineering. Social media.
Oh, social media.
Social media.
What, just social media?
Yeah, just social media.
Overrated, underrated, what is your opinion on that?
Are we living like our handles?
Social media.
Reach
Social
me
media
at.
is. I think it's not overrated.
So it's
I don't think it's underrated by those who are misinformed. Because I think so. Underrated by those who are misinformed, because the impact of social media is beyond anything we would have thought it would have 10 years ago.
But that's an angle that you're coming from now. You're coming from the angle of social media is effective. And
Not
so,
effective, it's not just impact.
Yeah.
Effective.
So it's
It,
or is
be
it
it
part-
good, be it bad, be it whatever.
It's just
I'm just saying social media as it is, people underrate how
much influence it
big
has?
it is. or
Ah,
how
yeah.
much
Okay, so yeah, I see
it's
that point.
underrated.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about
Yeah.
importance, whatever, that's the whole thing. But just the fact that I don't think it's overrated. There are people who try to downplay it, but you can't downplay social media. Like social media has introduced a whole new thing that you cannot ignore it. So you can hide from it, you can do whatever, but it will exist, and it's the power it has or the impact it has, impact maybe or reach it has is beyond anything. Because what now would get information from here to the other end of the world as fast if not social media? It's not the radio and TV you are learning in school. It's this tool is what now everyone is shifting the whole thing towards. So for me, I even feel it's underrated. People still don't know like
How much?
because now let's say like in Kenya,
Yeah.
it's the urban twin centers, the people who are like who have internet connectivity and people who are like social media. It's like the belt from just Kisumu, Nakuru, Eldoret, Naivasha, Nairobi, Kinaeni, maybe Kidogo down to the coast. The rest of it, June and Chini, maybe not as much, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
So, and that's just Kenya. And Kenya is a liberal country. Kenya, there's a lot. Now, if you go to countries that you have restrictions, maybe, but social media, I feel like it can work. Now, the fact that it has such a big impact, it can be for good and bad. So, it can be either really positive
Or
or
really
really bad.
Overrated.
You know, there in private school, there are these debates for social media has done more good than harm or more harm.
Education is a good
And you can go either way.
You can go either way. But I feel it has had such a bad effect for me, I feel, that way because of two things. One, it's brought an enemy called comparison. So everything you see, you subconsciously compare to someone else that you see on social media.
Yeah.
And so you know, Maveng and I work in the same business and we're in the same industry and everything. But then he'll go on holiday to Dubai,
Yeah.
for example, and then you post, before, like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you just hear, sorry, by the way, Dubai, cool. This one you'll actually hear and see.
Yeah.
It's like someone sending you pictures,
And I'll post our WhatsApp status every 10 minutes.
Exactly.
These are the sand dunes and you
Godspeed, Mama, we made it.
Then
We
someone
all
like,
have to
we all have to
Oh my God, and
Start posting a
you
DD. We all have 24. So it's really
That's
for
so big.
it's about
Savage.
it's not a lot of comparison, right? But then the second thing is social media and Nani said this, what's her name, Rebecca Dawn. Social media is one word, it's incomplete. Because it only shows you one part. It only shows you one part. You'll take a picture of dinner. And that's guys like, man, it's a couple go.
So happy.
You want to take a picture of you guys going home, bouting.
Even bouting when you're eating.
Yeah.
Or when you're at the table, you meet an old friend of yours, and then you'll go away for like 20 minutes. And like you only thinks like 3 minutes, and then she's mad for the rest of the night. You never take a picture of that. Never take a picture. You know, people say
Of us
like,
going to the matatu later
yeah,
after that.
Exactly. No, like Beyonce, love, shout out to you. Says she wakes up flawless. No one ever takes a real picture of them waking up just then. Even vloggers, they don't. Right? Like let me tell you, before they send their camera,
Just walk them like this.
no, you
Sorry
can't
guys,
like
I'm
that.
just from waking up.
It's
Hi,
very
how you
incomplete.
doing?
It's very incomplete.
Nimekuja kujitetea tena.
But the truth is, it's very incomplete.
Yeah.
And I feel sad because maybe not our generation, but a younger generation feels like it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. So how they compare, before you say like, hey, you get 405 in exams, and I get 402, I feel like you're better than me.
Yeah.
That's like, you have how many likes in how long? We have done an experiment with a friend of mine. A friend of mine called Trina, she sings. We took the same picture of a salt shaker, nothing deep, like a salt shaker on a
The
table.
salt of the earth.
And then we did, I think, a random capture. Yeah, the salt of the earth, And in like 4 hours, she had like 1,000 likes. What are calling my family?
Why not like
What-
this?
27 likes. And you see, sadly, I feel the world values Trina more than me.
Yeah.
Because of her big
So sad, my goodness.
So I'm walking around with low self-esteem. I'm walking around with issues. I'm walking around, and the thing with social media, I think for me, it validates your importance or your lack of importance. So if I post you once and I post you twice, you're more important.
Oh,
That's
That's the conclusion.
It's more important.
If I go to IG and see a couple
If I
of
go
photos
to-
of one
exactly.
person, like this person is me.
If your picture gets 40 likes and mine gets 56 likes, I'm more important than you. So it's become a race for importance, right?
Sadly so.
Exactly. So even I want to show you, and that's the thing I tell guys. We want to show people, I don't know if you realize, I want to show people how important I am. So where I hang out, who my friends are, what we do. I tell people all the time, why can't chicks go somewhere and not post? Why can't you just look good and not tell us? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
If at all you are dressing up for yourself,
I just
take a photo and
buy a motif.
Google
Yeah.
never
Buy a
forget.
motif. Your pictures will start with you with a seatbelt. You understand? Or behind there's a windscreen, a steering wheel. Like your pictures change. You're not shouting that I own a car,
But you're shouting.
but you want people to know that my importance has.
has goes a level up. And the sad thing, you've talked about the underside where you get less likes and you feel self-esteem and blah, blah. Now the guy who gets more likes,
They think
now,
they're Obama.
yeah, they think they have, but perhaps your life is so miserable.
Yeah.
But on social media, you feel like you have it together.
Yeah.
So even things like therapy, when someone tells you to take them, you're like, no, what do you mean? Yeah? I wake up in the morning, I look at my IG, it has 50 more likes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing okay. But
Exactly.
people are unable to see themselves for who they really are. Bible talks about don't think of yourself more highly than you ought. I think people in social media, especially those who now get those many likes, think of themselves sometimes too highly because social
If they
media.
let it affect them.
I think many of them.
Many people it affects.
I think that's to be some of them maybe they're couples, and I'm sure there are who are not affected by it. But I think generally, and guys, let's be honest.
Yes.
If you take a photo and you get few likes, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be
Two
honest.
likes
There's
in
a
one day.
way. If you did a photo and you got 12 likes, and how many of you here actually check the number of likes? May check the number of likes. People check the number of
You
likes.
check.
You check. To be very honest, you check.
Sometimes even who has viewed
People
statuses.
Who has viewed the status?
Now that thing, me I removed it from my phone. My goodness.
You need to view status.
Yes,
We need
I
to-
don't view status. As in, I don't view who has viewed my status.
You can.
I can't.
Why?
So the reason why I do that is I used to find myself. I post a photo, for example, or something, and then after some minutes, when I'm bored, I look at who has viewed it. And all these guys, no one has commented about the very deep thing that I have posted. So guys have posted a
Validate me.
The paradox about life. You can have very many people who follow you in real life, but then you're in trouble and you can't talk to any of them. You can't talk to any of
There's
them.
virtual friends, man.
You know. But really, if it will never say I have 40.7 thousand followers.
Now, someone who follow life, they know everything that is happening in your life.
Hey bro, ulikuwa Roysambu jana.
Yeah, they
Have taskis. They know everything.
But if you ask any of them whether they really know the things you're going through,
No.
You don't even ask any of them, you tell them.
you even tell
You
them.
don't tell them.
Yeah.
Like, why do you see all these like top people who, Robert Nani, the comedian who killed himself?
The couple of celebrities.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Like such a person, if you were following him on whatever, he's a jolly guy. He wanted to smile, like, but that happened. That are like to musicians who like Kina Avicii and whatever.
Yeah.
Like you follow him, guy is living the life. He's due to-
Is when an event is happening in a church, for example, or around where I am, and someone puts it on WhatsApp. All of us get to know about it. That's really using the tool really well.
Yeah.
So that person is not really looking for. Did you see this poster? Will you affirm me?
and they
Of
do
course,
just
they just-
things.
Yeah, they
You know
just.
how much I've learned on YouTube just like nimekoma kitu
Yeah.
Just made
Yes.
a
and then I'm
really
able
good
to.
choice.
There's a random Indian who's taught me so much
Yeah.
from India. I don't tell him thank you.
If-
He's taught me.
And you see, someone like Terri,
like the
if
video.
you want to share information for helping other people's sake, by all means, go ahead and do it. Actually, not doing it now will be doing disservice to your friends and the people who
Everybody
are
else, yeah.
who
Like
see
Jesus,
you.
see him, he knew the good things.
Yeah.
Like he knew the good news. So he can too. He wanted people to believe, but he can't force people. Not everyone will be at A receptive. Like I'll put it out there. It's for you to choose if you're going
I
to.
don't even want to be followed for this.
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
someone who
yeah.
resonates with.
Exactly.
content.
So
Yeah,
I think when like the 10 guys, the last one came and said thank you. They were all like,
Yeah, they all.
I could be the only lakini bado
Subscribe.
power ya God ilionekana,
Right.
bado effect ya nini ilionekana. So what purpose yake ilikuwa ni kuna kuja kuhili yako amekuja kuitisha Thanksgiving.
Exactly. No, I think really sorry.
You brought it home.
Yeah.
So wewe aina nini yako, mtu akikubali, mtu akikwambia shukran.
Well, I'm
Okay,
sure
shukran.
that, if not, you're still okay.
How many preachings have you been sent by people imekushika? This person knows that it has touched you, and there was a random preacher somewhere.
Imagine,
Yeah.
imagine.
Umetumiwa kitu alafu
And it's
imekuwa
still
kitu.
Yeah, thanks for talking about preachers, man. Oh,
Madami kidogo.
if you're a congregant somewhere, please say hi, bigs up to your preacher.
Appreciate them.
So, I mean, Kitu, okay. The thing that bugs me about, okay, so there's two angles, yes? Overrated and underrated. Me, sijui, niko hapo katikati. So, the guys who say it's overrated usually have a very negative connotation about social media. Because honestly, if I'm going through it, I won't go stand somewhere and parade myself and say, skizeni, hear ye, niko na shida. You go to your people. So don't expect Because that's the same thing you're kind of like asking from this person. Like, I'm not going to come onto social media and say I'm going through stuff, nini. I'll consult my people to keep it here, sawa. Because I feel like when we say it's overrated, then we are taking away or making little of what human interaction really is. Because that's what you're doing, interacting with other people just on a different platform. And you won't, the same way you won't, okay, maybe good news you learn to share with everybody. But yeah, the bad news, honestly, because then again, I feel like you're invalidating someone else's great experience. Uongo, you anapanga umepatiwa pesa, I really don't like that. Because if they've experienced that and they've enjoyed it, if you can't celebrate them and walk away.
But you see, Terry, the assumption that you're making is, like you, many of the people who do this on social media have a place where they fall back to. Where they have a place now they can talk about their problems with their friends. One of the things that is a big rebuke for me every time is when I go to WhatsApp, for example, and I realize this guy is my friend, but I think he's going through stuff and I haven't asked. And many of the times I don't comment on their status or whatever. I pick my phone and call the guy, and I'm like, hey, will we meet up for coffee? So the human relationships that are on social media level, unfortunately, they're very, very, very shallow. Much as they are human relationships and we're not refusing, but most of the time we have elevated them so highly, though shallow, we have made so big of them, and we have demeaned and made little of human relationships now on a personal level. Sometimes I haven't called my mom in 4 days, 5 days. My wife always rebukes me of that sometimes, which is amazing. Yeah, she. How comes this week you haven't called your mom? And sometimes I'm like, wow, I've actually been texting with people on WhatsApp, friends, random friends sometimes. Even people who we don't really have that personal relationship, more than I've been talking to people who are much more significant to me, my mom, my bro, and I find out, hey, Nani, your cousin got a child, and I'm like, I didn't even know she was pregnant. Like, how did we get there that social media had not brought me to actually caring for them in that way? Now, what that would mean is that perhaps because I have kept my attention too much on my social media friends, my real friends of people who I should be thinking and caring about have fallen to the cracks.
That's also as though to say people can't make real, genuine, and authentic
No,
friendship.
They can.
No, they can. But it's just not replace.
What
Terri was saying, that sometimes also us as, let's say, the viewers, we come with a lot of like hating or whatever towards the guys who are sharing and whatever. And like she said, why can Jen, she was sharing? And you're coming there with negativity, like, this is not true, this is not whatever. But that's very, not say selfish, but I don't know, like, what need do you have to come there, to come in that space, and then be all negative based on what? Because you've maybe seen other people, or you're hating based on maybe you're jealous, maybe you have something that is, like, what's the reason for you to see someone's status and already start thinking, that's a lie, that's not true, that's whatever. We're trying to remove the makosas or trying to slander or whatever. If it's not your content, come on. Like, if someone is posting stuff that is not relevant to you, it's the same way if you start talking football, you don't love football, not engage for long, so you just leave. You go and talk something else. Like, it's the same way if I come and watch Terry's channel and she's talking about makeup, I wouldn't lie to myself, I can stay there for 1 hour looking at her and she talks about
What you can do
makeup.
though is when you're taking a shower, go play it, alafu go shower, then come back.
But like, it's those things, like if it's not my content, I wouldn't be there like, she's doing makeup. How many people do makeup? How many it's her. Like that when she makes that's what she's needing and that's what she wants to share. So you have to accept that not everything is for you. So don't be there hating on everything someone will post just because
And also, just to add on to what you just said, I think sometimes when people request or they want to hear they want to hear the not so good parts of you. I think even just because I've seen this a couple of bloggers or a couple of people I follow, they don't necessarily tell you, like, I'm sitting and I'm recording, oh my god, I'm crying, but I think even sometimes this is just challenging guys who share, because unfortunately only just sharing the good things from my end itaanza kufikiria kwani nini maisha yako, right? It's not even just saying at now the same way. Even when you're sharing a good time, it's not like you share actively what you're sharing. Like you just pick like a moment, like a wedding, you post, and then the rest of the experience you actually experience. So even the hard times, I think because I feel for me the hate sometimes comes, not really hate, but like the discontent sometimes comes from a point of lack of authenticity. So we're just giving us the good, but we also want to see you as a human being. But unfortunately, you don't sound human, and then one day we hear Terri is depressed. Then tuko sunaona. So it's don't but that's what they say. Unaona sasa. But it's maybe talk about like you have like there's like a time on your page you shared about something you're going through for a week. You had gone through a depressing moment for a week, and then you shared, right? It's not like we were with you every single day when you're going through it, but as someone who is following Terri, I know Terri is a human being because at the time she went through a depressing moment. And from my end, if I'm following you, I'm validated in a sense that Najua, life is just not good. It can be bad. It can be this. Because I think that's normally my issue with social media. They're choosing to just share good. And I know it's your content, so you share what you want. But a lot of times from our end,
be real.
Be real. And not because some people don't want to be real because even the good maybe it's not even real. It's for once just be human. Because unfortunately I feel for me the reason why social media at some point is overrated is because people are just sharing good. I think if people were balancing, I think the frenzy it is.
Again, isn't that your own personal responsibility? Because, okay, for instance, I know I get different kinds of content from different kinds of people, right? There are people I know this is only what they do. Let's say travel, instant. Stuck it could relate now emotional. Okay, well, it would be nice if I could relate with you, but this is what you've told us you're putting out. So mbona nikuje nikutafute eti no, you be human. That is your human.
But you know, Terri, you're talking about someone who has decided specifically they will be sharing this. If, for example, let me talk about you and your channel. Your channel on makeup. You have decided that you will be showing us about makeup. Every time I come to your channel, I'm expecting I'm going to find something about makeup, and I'm okay with that. We're talking about social media, things like Facebook, and it's not where now you have defined yourself. I only do cooking. So every time you're coming to my Facebook page, you're expecting you'll find cooking. We're talking about where I am friends to you, and you are like doing your life and you show us life. Where it is Terri I am looking for. I'm not looking for recipes. I'm looking for Terri.
Okay.
So if I cannot find a Terri who is both as human as I am, then that one is
why are you looking for that person on social media?
Because they are my friend. I expect social media, you befriend people who are your friends.
No, you're your friend. Like in retrospect, let's say, even for yourself, if I go through your posts or I go through what you shared, I don't think I'll 100% know who you are.
That's true.
I'll have ideas of who you are. And that's because also, you as a person, you choose what you want to share.
That's true.
You will see what she shared today. That's not sharing. I saw the guys who did the childbirth thing online. There are some people who never do that.
I wouldn't.
But for them, they are comfortable doing that. And that's good on their case. So it's one of those things for some people like, these people have overshared, they tell us too much about their kids or their whatever.
I mean, we nasema hivi, kwa ground it will be different. Social media, there's some things we show people. So, man, I have a friend who used to travel, or they used to show us how they are all over. I think their net salary was 13,000. All these trips were work trips. All the trips were work trips. It's kidogo. But all you see on social media is them eating in a fancy restaurant, them traveling to different parts of this country, they always have nice things on the tables and whatnot. So you're just like, this guy's life is the bomb.com. Who pesa and wise? You're just thinking, but it's really cause that's the life they've portrayed. And many people no. Let me not. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's incomplete.
Yeah.
It's not that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's not misrepresentation. It's not
Just
some
a
other
testing
news anchor who was showing us
process.
pictures which are not her pictures.
Yeah.
No. This is actually thing happened, but it's not all that happened.
Yeah.
You know.
And even so, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not saying we expect you to give us the bad. I'm saying who said social media is only for sharing good. That's what I'm questioning.
Yeah.
Because when you hear social media, who told me? And that's something like I have learned myself. I only share the good. I only post when I'm looking okay. I only post when I'm fine. I only post when. Who said that? That's what I'm questioning. Because for me, I feel like I'd even appreciate if there exists another side of social media where now people are just sharing the bad. And I have been part of some pages where people share what they're going through, and they share the bad, they share all of those things. And I'm just saying, this like expectation that has been put, myself included, where I can't find myself sharing anything that's bad. That is what I'm questioning, because the narrative out here is only share if you're okay, only share if it's good. And if we just share, if we just say, hey, I'm low. If we are saying sharing, social media is for why? Social media is for sharing. Let us not be, because what is happening is selective sharing. Let's share. If we share. Because the narrative out here is, and then we justify and say it's my page. But when you really think about it in your head and when you're doing things, you can't find yourself sharing at any picture, because we are preaching and we are spreading a narrative of perfectionism. That is what I'm questioning. Because we're out here, and if you're not perfect, don't do it. If you're not in a perfect state, don't do it. If you're not in a, which then nullifies what he was saying, the impact. It actually ruins the impact of social media, because then we have sort of
look for like that good lighting.
Yes, we've shallowed, because social media is amazing. Like the things we're doing is amazing, but we've managed to water it down to just a space where just share the good, share your good life. If I go to another country, share. If I did that, share.
But if you're just at home,
if you just like the impact of it, like to a point where if you're sharing something that is meaningful or good, unfortunately you get less likes. And that is communicating something, and it's a reality. If I'm sharing something that is helpful, a lot of times, even on YouTubers I've seen on their pages, if I'm showing you how to do this, your views are less as opposed to I'm sharing your vlog, or I'm sharing something interesting or something, not really interesting, but something that seems sort of perfect, more views. And I've seen that on my
Look at Terry's first trip to Euro trip.
Exactly. But if Terry is sharing, if Terry is showing us how to do something very practical, how to cook something, exactly. People don't want to go view that. They're just like, that's Kawa, that's like me. I don't want to see that. I want to see that perfect life. Then it's a sort of compare myself, Nico, and it's very, unfortunately, it's not conscious, it's subconscious.
But let me say this, There's a very powerful class I attended last year. Very powerful course. So saying this powerful class called 30 by 30 that I attended. And one of the lessons about friendships and relationships. It's about how Jesus had an inner circle of 3. That's Peter, James, and John. Then he had the 12, and he had the 72. And then there was the 5,000 he feeds and he leads, and those people.
Yeah.
I think everyone must be very particular and very honest with themselves. Your 3 are not social media.
Yeah.
Your 12 also not social media. 72 could be part of your friends on social media, but they're not your core.
the 500 during a session.
I mean, let me tell you guys, even as we're talking about we're not real, there's no one to post my fears on social media. There's no going to say, so and so is unwell in my family and I'm afraid.
If you need me to go to a therapy to unpack,
if you don't,
how much
I know.
more will I
Oh my God!
Imagine, it's to be very, very honest with yourself.
Yeah.
One of the things I learned in that class, and I really encourage everyone to sign up for 30 by 30.
Identity,
You're on point, by the way, just so you identity equal
And be
Christ.
self-aware.
Yeah.
Self-aware.
Study yourself.
Therapy.
Go
Go
for
for therapy.
Would
if
you
you
need
are
therapy?
feeling-
Like you need.
She's a therapist.
Or,
You know,
or
Connor?
just go and experience it.
Mental
Like
She's a therapist.
Just
Therapist. Therapist.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mi nasemanga hii order iko hivi Jesus. No, and Jesus. But sijui kama niseme Bible na Jesus, sijui mali iko. Okay, so
Jesus.
Bible, Jesus, au pamoja.
Yeah.
Tunaanza. And then therapy.
Oh wow.
Right?
I did not see that.
And
one
then
coming.
therapy.
I'm so surprised.
So
What do you mean?
it is okay to have Jesus and a
No, I
therapist.
mean,
Okay.
go for therapy. That's what you mean.
And unasema it is okay to have Jesus and a therapist. So no point yangu.
Oh, yeah.
Sijui
Oh, because a
what
lot
it's
of
for.
times people,
Eh.
some people would
But
nullify
you-
therapy.
Yes,
'cause
but
they have
don't
Jesus
nullify
as
Jesus
a-
because of therapy. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Because-
Priority kwa Yesu kwanza, alafu sasa therapy.
They don't contradict each other.
Haya,
Ah.
sawa sawa.
You can
Alright, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe.